In today's video, I'll be sharing some beautiful rustic decor hacks using Dollar Tree's wooden slices. So keep watching because you're not going to want to miss out on these simple yet stunning DIY projects. Dollar Tree has a variety of natural wood slices in different shapes, and I love crafting with these. So for today's video, I did pick up a variation of them. I'll be using the circle one for this project. I'm going to be turning it into an adorable rustic coaster, so first I'm going to paint it with these neutral warm colors from Apple Barrel, Territorial Beige and Khaki, but any color will work. I'm going to mix the two together and then add a little bit of water to thin it out. I really don't want it to go on too thick, but more like a stain. To apply the color, I'm just going to use a piece of cloth and I just dip that in the paint and apply that on one side. If the surface feels a little too raw or rough, just give it a light sanding before painting, and that paint will go on nicely. So after I apply the paint color, I also wipe it down immediately so that you can see some of that wood grain underneath. I want to add some stenciling on top, and I'm going to use my Cricut to cut out the stencil on this Dollar Tree vinyl with a sticky back. I'll be cutting out some trees, and I just downloaded the image from Canva and I uploaded it to Cricut Design Space. I thought the trees were perfect. It really adds to that overall rustic look. Of course, if you don't have a Cricut, there are other options. Like at Dollar Tree, they have a nice variety of beautiful stencils or rub-on transfers that would really work nicely. Now, before I apply the stencil, I remove that jute hanger, and pulling out the staples, it was not easy, so I did have to use a heavy-duty staple remover. So I placed that vinyl right in the center. Now I should have centered the trees a bit, leaving a vinyl cushion all around, but instead I cut it too close to the edge. So I just added some tape on the side to protect the wood. I'll be painting the trees black, and I'm using Folk Art's black chalk paint. Now before stenciling, always make sure to blot out any excess paint that's on the brush to prevent smudging. But using a vinyl with a sticky back, it definitely helped in preventing that paint from seeping underneath. So I just pounce over the stencil, and once it's fully covered, I carefully remove the stencil. Because of that somewhat fine details on the stencil, I did have to slowly peel it out, little by little on all sides, but it did come out nicely. And any areas that stuck, I just weeded it out. Now I'll be using this as a coaster, but honestly, you don't have to. I think this is also really pretty just the way it is. But to turn this into a coaster, you're going to have to seal it to protect the surface from moisture and heat. I'll be using Minwax polyacrylic to seal, and I'm going to be applying several layers just to make sure I have a good seal. But if you want to use something even more durable, especially if you're making these as gifts, a polyurethane finish is a good choice. Now to protect the surface the coaster will be resting on, I'm going to apply some adhesive cork. This one's from Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting the amount that I need, making sure it doesn't extend beyond the edges of the wood. And then I just stick that on the bottom. Now, I really loved how this turned out, so I wanted to make another one. This time, I did a little bird on a branch. I also centered the stencil before cutting so that I had some cushion all around. I'm leaving the wood as is, natural. So I just apply the black paint over the stencil, dabbing out the excess paint and applying it in thin layers. This one turned out so beautiful. Once it dries completely, I seal it, and then I cut and stick that cork adhesive on the bottom. And this DIY is done. You can really be creative with these, personalize them to your style, make a whole set with different designs for your home or as a gift. It really turned out beautifully. For the next DIY, I'll be using these Dollar Tree rectangle wood slice. These are about 9 inches in length, and I'm going to be making a beautiful rustic riser. I'll be using this 1-inch square dowel. I get these at Home Depot, and I'm going to trim that so that I have 2 to just a little over 3 inches. But another option that will still work if you want to keep it simple, you can use 4 tumbling tower blocks, glue 2 pieces together, and no cutting required. I'll also be using 4 of these wooden cubes from Dollar Tree. Now it's important that they're all equal in height or else you'll have an uneven riser. So I'm just sorting out 4 that are equal. I'm going to remove that jute hanger. The staples are on there pretty good, so I had to use a very strong staple remover to pry it out. Next, I'm going to attach the base, so I have the bottom facing up, and I'm going to add some glue on one side of that cut square dowel. And I place that close to the edge, not all the way. I do leave a little space, about 1/2 inch. I glue the other end, just making sure it's placed about the same distance from the end as the other one. I'm using Titebond multi-surface glue, but you can also use hot glue. I just like that extra repositioning time. I'm going to glue the cubes on top of the square wood close to the ends. This just gives it a little more height, and it's a nice little detail to the base. I give it about a minute or two to bond, and then I flip it over and I put some weight on top. And I just let that dry completely. I'm going to stain the riser, and I'll be using this water-based stain in the shade Special Walnut. I wipe the color on, and then I also wipe down the excess. Now you can paint or stain this any color, but I really love the rustic look of the stain. I also make sure to paint the base. Now you don't have to, but I also stain the bottom. And this rustic riser is done. For the next project, I'm going to be making a very quick and simple wreath, and I'll be using this Grapevine wreath. I get these at Michael's. They're really not too pricey, and I believe this is the 18-inch one. For flowers, I headed to Dollar Tree as well as Walmart, and I chose more muted down colors for the wreath. I'm starting out with these 2 greenery bouquets. I really like the shade of green on these, and these are from Walmart. I'm going to slightly bend them to go with the curve of the wreath, and I'm going to position them opposite each other. I'm just tucking it in. I'm not using hot glue only because I'm always reusing the wreath for other projects, and the Grapevine wreath is so tightly dense, so it holds pretty well. Next up are these lavender bunch from Dollar Tree. These are so pretty, and I position them right on top of the greenery, tucking them into the wreath. I do make sure to leave a little space in the center. I'll be placing 3 flowers in the center, 2 ivory and 1 peach. These are also from Dollar Tree, and these I do secure with a little hot glue. Next up, I'll be using this Dollar Tree rectangle wood slice, as well as these poster stickers from Dollar Tree as well. I'll be spelling out the word hello, but before I peel and stick them, I'm going to distress it a bit. And all I'm doing is just getting a little sanding sheet and lightly going over the letters. That will scratch it up, letting that white underneath show through. And then you just want to lightly wipe it down to remove any black dust. I started out with the middle letter L, and I placed that right in the center, and then I just worked my way out, peeling the letters out and then sticking them on the wood. The stickiness in the back isn't really strong, so you're going to need to seal it in place once you're done placing the letters. Next, I'm going to secure it right in the center of the wreath. I do remove that jute string hanger, but you can leave that on and find a place to hook it on the wreath directly as well. I just rest it on the wreath, and then I put a little hot glue to hold it in place. And this simple wreath DIY is done, and I love the way it turned out. Now this next one is going to be a super easy one. No gluing or painting required. Just grab several packs of these small round wood slices. These come in a pack of 3, and I got about 3 packs, but you can get more or less. You can stack several of them at varying heights and place some small pillar candles. These are from Dollar Tree and they fit perfectly. Or you can add some votive candle holders. Or place them in a row directly on a table or on a riser. Place some candles on top for that beautiful rustic ambiance. So these are just a few ideas. I'm sure there are many more ways to use these. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed all these quick and simple DIYs. If you did like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more budget-friendly DIYs. Until next time, bye!